Day 471 of doing a LeetCode problem every day until I get a job. All right, y'all, we're back again another day, another LeetCode problem where we're doing daily LeetCode problems. And today we have question number 1399, count largest group. The difficulty level is easy, so you already know we're going to keep the solution as simple and easy to understand as well. But before we get started, y'all, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share. And if you need any new Apple AirPods, go ahead and check out that link in the description so you can get you some. Now let's see what the question says. You are given an integer n. We need to group the numbers from 1 to n according to the sum of digits. For example, the number 1 or the numbers 14 and 5 belong to the same group, whereas 13 and 3 belong to different groups. Return the maximum number that have the largest size, i.e. the maximum number of elements. All right, y'all, so that may seem a little bit confusing at first. Let's go ahead and take a look at these examples just to make sure we're doing this problem correctly. So in example 1, we have our input n equals 13, the output is 4. Explanation says there are 9 groups in total. They are grouped according to the sum of its digits of numbers from 1 to 13. So these are the groups right here. There are 4 groups with the largest size. So as you can see, we're looking for numbers from 1 to 13, and we want to see how we can group these numbers together by their sum of the sum of the digits, right? So as you can see, 1 has a sum of 1, and then 1 and 10 has a sum of 1. When we add the digits 1 and 0 together, that's going to be 1. Similarly, 2 is 2, and then when we add the digits 1 and 1 together in 11, that's going to be 2 as well. 3 will be 3, then 1 plus 2 and 12, that also equals 3. Similar, 4, 1 plus 3 and 13 equals 4. Then we have 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Right? So as we can see, there are 5 groups there are 4 groups that have 2 elements. So it says right here the maximum number of elements. There are 4 groups that have 2 elements, so we return 4 after we group all of those numbers together. So once again, we're just adding the digits together. So once again, and the digits after adding them together, they should all be the same. So 1, we don't have to add anything to 1. It's just regular 1. And then for the second number, when we add for 10, when we add 1 plus 0, that also equals 1. Once again, 2 is 2, that's a regular number, and 1 plus 1 and 11, that equals 2. So as you can see, these equals 3, these equal 4, and so on and so on. So that's how we got the output of 4, because these are the 4 largest groups. So let's take a look at example 2. In example 2, we have our input n equals 2. Our output is 2. Explanation says there are 2 groups, 1 and 2. They both have a size of 1, so the output is 2. Remember, we're just returning the number of the largest groups, or how many of the largest groups there are, right? We're not returning the largest groups themselves. So now that we understand the question, y'all, let's get into the fun part, the actual solution. Solution is not that difficult at all. So let's get into it. First thing we're going to do is we're going to create a dictionary to store the frequency of numbers grouped by their digit sum. So we're going to declare a variable called sumFreq, and we're just going to set that equal to an array of integers. So int colon int, and we're going to initialize it with 2 parentheses like that. Now we're going to iterate over each number from 1 to n. So we're going to say for num n 1 ... n. We can open up the brackets, and we're going to create a temporary copy of the current number. So we're going to declare a variable. We'll call it temp num, and we'll set that equal to num. Boom. Then we're going to create another variable that will hold the sum of the digits. So we declare a variable, call this one dig sum, and we'll set that equal to 0 just to start. Boom. Now we need to compute the sum of the digits of the number. So we're going to say while temp num is greater than 0, we can open up the brackets, and we're going to add the last digit. So we're going to say dig sum plus equals temp num mod 10. Boom. Then we're going to come underneath that and remove the last digit by saying temp num slash equals, so divided by equals 10. Boom. Then we need to increment the count of numbers that have this digit sum. So we're going to do that in the sum freak that we created earlier by coming right here and say sum freak, open up the square brackets. We're going to say dig sum, comma, default, colon 0, plus equals 1. Boom. Now we need to find the maximum group size or the largest frequency among the digit sums. So for that, we could come right here and we'll say let max freak equal sum freak dot values dot max, put the parentheses for some rapid with an exclamation point. Then we're going to count how many groups have this maximum sum by coming right here and we're going to say return sum freak dot values dot count. We're going to open up the brackets. We're going to say $0 equals, which is going to return or excuse me, we're going to say $0 equals, then we're going to say max freak. Boom. Now that should be all she wrote, y'all. Let's give it a run before we submit it. Make sure it runs properly. It's accepted, so let's go ahead and submit it, y'all. Make sure it's still accepted after we submit it. Let's see. Ooh, look at that. 4 milliseconds beats 36.36% of users. We could definitely get those numbers up, but for now, we just want a solution that we can learn from. And I think this is a good, simple, and easy to understand solution for that. So with that being said, y'all, make sure you get one more look at the code. This is all of the code right here. And yeah, y'all, with that being said, I hope y'all learned something today, and I hope to see y'all here tomorrow for another day, another LeetCode problem. See y'all then.